All right, welcome. Today, I'm just sitting in front of waiting for the premiere of "This Solves the Biggest Problem in Satisfactory," whatever that's going to be. I want to watch it with you and see what they have to say. We'll cut out the unimportant stuff, but I'm very curious to see what the biggest problem is in Satisfactory and see what their solution is. So hopefully, I've got about three things written down we could maybe expect to hear from him. Teleportation appeared in the last teaser trailer, it seemed, and then he stuck his head out the window to look at something, and it looked like a summer sloop. And so maybe he's going to talk about the summer sloops and the Mercer spheres, which have no use in the current game. And gosh, wouldn't it be neat to be able to visit the space station and come back and actually have more connection with the storyline? So we're going to wait for the premiere, which right now is in 2 minutes, and we'll look forward to hearing what he has to say. One thing I would comment about these folks is they sure know how to market a product. This is probably one of the most interesting marketing rollouts that I've ever seen. Gosh, it was exciting to see. 9, 8, 7, 6. All right, we're getting here. Building the excitement. As the zero fades into the background.
I haven't been able to sleep in days. That stupid, loud summer sloop laser machine they have running in their backyard. What does it even do? What does it even do?
Okay, here we got Summer Sloop.
First thing I want to mention is that we are going to add two new liquid fuel types that we haven't talked about yet. And the first one I want to talk about is rocket fuel. And rocket fuel can be used in a lot of different things. For instance, in vehicles. You can also, of course, put it in fuel generators, and you can also use it in the jetpack. And if you do, it'll give you hella launch. Like, it'll shoot you right up there. It gives you so much velocity in the vertical region, if you know what I mean. But it does consume fuel fairly quickly in the jetpack, so I highly recommend bringing a parachute with you if you decide to use it in the
parachute.
jetpack. But rocket fuel isn't turbo fuel's final form. There's actually one extra step that you can take, and that is called ionized fuel. So once you get to the point where you can automate synthetic power shards, you're going to be able to automate ionized fuel. So by combining rocket fuel and power shards in the refinery, you're going to be able to create ionized fuel. And you can also use it in the jetpack. And it's pretty dope in the jetpack, actually, because it gives you higher thrust than anything else. It has slower consumption rate than rocket fuel, and it has way better air control, actually. But one thing that rocket fuel has that ionized fuel doesn't have in the jetpack specifically is that it has a much higher velocity ceiling. So you can go faster upwards, essentially. And one thing I also want to mention on the topic of fuel types is that drones now can use most fuel types in the game. So drones are no longer like exclusively for batteries. They can also take advantage of many of the different fuel types that you can package. They also fly differently depending on what fuel type that in. So like the better the fuel type, the faster the drones will fly. So that's it for fuel types. Next thing I want to talk about is quality of life features that we've added. So we put some effort into making, building in general feel more tight, and we just like improved how snapping works and make it more so that like, when you're placing stuff, you sort of get what you expect and get the behavior out of the build mechanics that you expect. Now, instead of having to aim at the input and outputs of building, you just need to aim at the building itself. And it will like snap towards whatever input and output or whatever that makes sense. Instead of having to like finagle around and aim specifically where you need to. We've also made improvements to guidelines on how they work. So previously it was just like one green line that showed up. If you hold down control and you aim at stuff, it would just like indicate to you where stuff is aligning. So now it has a visual change, and it also now properly snaps buildings on foundations when you hold control. And like I mentioned, it has a visual change as well. So now it also indicates when you're trying to connect and align stuff with like inputs to outputs and stuff like that, it will show you that. And it will visually show this by having either a green line to show inputs, you'll have a red line to show output, and I have a blue line to indicate like this center of mass of the building if you want to align buildings to buildings. And we also have so that like inputs and outputs have dashed lines, and they're
I
also
see that.
moving to sort of indicate direction as well. So now hopefully
green
it'll be
to
a
red.
little bit easier to sort of figure out like where things go. Hopefully the guidelines will make it a bit clearer now as to where you're placing the buildings. And the next thing I want to talk about, let me just hook up this belt here and let me do.
Nice.
Did you see that?
I
did.
did.
Did you see what just happened? So yeah. So now when you're placing conveyor belts, they have two different build modes. You have the default build mode and you have the straight build mode. And the straight build mode is essentially what it tells you on the box. It will make it so that conveyor belts are always facing straight, and they will make perfect 90 degrees corners, making it a lot smoother to build like straight conveyor belt lines if that is something that you're into, you know. And
well, you don't have to keep building multiple pieces
really
of
this
it.
Change. This is like one of my favorite changes in 1.0. It makes it so much easier to just plop things down.
Yeah.
Hope you'll enjoy that. And one final thing I'm gonna mention when it comes to like building conveyor belts, pipes, whatever, is that it's now possible when you hold control when placing railways that they will snap and become straight. And it's a little bit of a hidden thing. It's not like a build mode that we have for railways. But yeah, just know that if you hold control when placing railways, they're gonna go like straight.
They're gonna go straight.
All right,
finally.
so with that out of the way, let's finally talk about the changes we made to blueprints. So really excited to talk about this. So one thing that people have always wanted when it comes to blueprints is the possibility.
Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, come on. Guys, stop messing with our heads. Okay, blueprints, right? Uh-huh, that's purple, not blue. So you gonna jump into it? Reach out. Gosh. Okay, something you can hold in your hand.
We need to talk about that now. Okay, we cannot leave that unfinished. All right, let's get into it. So this is gonna be the meat of the video, okay? We're gonna talk about what that is and what you use it for. The thing in the sky, the big eye thing, that is actually a Mercer sphere. As you've been exploring the planet of Massage 2A BBB, there's been a couple of artifacts, I would say, that you haven't been able to take advantage of, such as the summer sloops and the Mercer spheres. And in 1.0, these are finally going to be usable. And what the heck are you going to use them for? Well,
yeah, really.
Let me explain. So as you explore the planet, you'll run into these like strange phenomena that you can discover. And by researching them in the MAM, along with the strange alien matter, you'll be able to unlock like a whole new potential, alien technology. So let's first talk about the strange alien matter on the planet. So this is going to be sort of the basic building block for almost all technology that involves alien tech. So when you extract SAM from the planet, you're going to be able to create something called reanimated SAM. And this part is going to be used in a lot of different things. For instance, you saw it in the converter, and you saw it in, I think you've only seen it in the converter, actually, now I think about it. But yeah, it's going to be used for a lot of different things. Reanimated SAM, you create in constructors straight with SAM. And SAM fluctuators you create by combining reanimated SAM, wire, and pipes in the manufacturer. And by the way, it's just SAM now because we've renamed it to Strange Alien Matter, and so it's not SAM ore. Okay, I just wanna put that out there.
It's just SAM.
Got sort of the same energy as saying ATM machine. Okay, it's like an extra thing. No need for it. It's just SAM. Okay. So let's talk about the two other alien phenomena that you're going to be able to uncover. So let's start with summer sloops. So as you may or may not have guessed, summer sloops are going to be used in this machine. This is the power augmenter. And the way this machine works is it essentially takes your existing power grid and augments it. And I'll explain how. So from summer sloops, you're gonna be able to create a power augmenter. When you place down this building, you're gonna get automatically 500 megawatts of power just straight out of the machine. So it's just like you just get free power essentially from the Summer Sloop, I guess. And then what it does is when you connect it to a circuit, it will amplify that grid by 10%. Yeah, essentially when you place a power augmenter and you hook it up to your power grid, you're just gonna get free power. It's free power. And the more power augmenters you build, place, and hook up, the more you're gonna augment your grid. So they kind of stack, but
they
not
kind of
really,
stack,
and I'll
but not really.
clarify a little bit further.
They kind of do,
so,
but
yeah,
don't.
You can add more augmenters to further boost your grid, but they don't boost like each other's boost, if that makes sense. Like it's not
stackable.
Percentage on percentage, if that makes sense. This will also be on the test, by the way. I hope you took notes.
Oh yes,
it's not over yet.
yes, good notes. Good
one
notes.
Thing I also want to mention for this formula is that power storages are not included in like this like whole calculation because they can mess everything up. Like we just wanted to make sort of a simple way to sort of see this, and you can see how much your power grid is boosted when you're looking at the circuit, because you'll get like that little number at the bottom there.
Okay.
So power augmentation is real cool, but that's not the only thing you can use Summer Sloops for. They're also going to be able to be used for alien production amplification. So in the game, it's now going to be possible to further overclock all machines in the game. For every single machine, there's going to be an additional overclocking slot. So in addition to the existing overclocking you do with power shards, there's also going to be a little slot where you can place Summer Sloops to amplify the output of machines. And it only amplifies the output, so it doesn't actually affect the input at all. So you're going to be able to overclock your machines with power shards, and on top of that, you're also going to be able to use Summer Sloops to further amplify the production. The thing to take note though is that when you do this, it costs way more power. And the amount of Summer Sloops you're gonna need for the like desired amount of output amplification also varies from machine to machine. So that's everything you can do in 1.0 with Summer Sloop, and I have saved the best for last, okay? You have no idea, all right? I am so excited to talk about this next feature because this is my
are we gonna finally talk about blueprints
in the game. And I actually think this feature that we've implemented solves like the biggest issue in Satisfactory up until this point. So strap in, okay? All right, the last bit of strange phenomena that you're gonna run into on the planet is the Mercer Sphere. And the Mercer Sphere has only one purpose or use case, but it is a good one, okay? With Mercer Spheres, you're going to be able to create a new building called the Dimensional Depot. So with the Mercer Sphere, you're going to be able to craft this storage container looking building, right? It looks like an ordinary storage container. You are wrong, okay? But this is actually the Dimensional Depot uploader. So what you do with this building is you place it down, you hook it up with a conveyor belt, and you feed parts into it. And what it does is uploads any part that's put into the storage container up to the Dimensional Depot. And if you look over here real quick, I've got my regular inventory, but there's this little button here that I can also press. And if I press this button, I'm gonna get access to the Dimensional Depot wherever I am on the map. It's all there on the cloud. Cha-ching!
Cha-ching!
So yeah, essentially you're going to be able to set up production lines that you can feed in produced parts and upload them to the Dimensional Depot and be able to access them wherever you are on the map, anytime,
a virtual mall.
Any place. It is so nice.
A virtual mall.
You can just drag
but
and
what
drop
level do you
any
get
item
it?
into your inventory, and they're just gonna like be there immediately. You're gonna download them from the Dimensional Depot right away. I don't know
what level do you get it?
For you, but this means that you no longer need to like run back and forth between bases when you start running out of materials when you're building like another base or another outpost or whatever. There's going to be a limit as to like how many parts you can upload to the Dimensional Depot, and there's also a limit as to like how many parts you can have at the Dimensional Depot at the same time. Stack sizes are a bit limited on the Dimensional Depot, but the thing is, both of these things, like the upload speed and the stack size on the Dimensional Depot, both of these things are going to be able to be upgraded.
Alien technology.
So the Dimensional Depot isn't going to be used for any type of like production automation.
It just expands your bags.
That's not how the Dimensional Depot works. It's purely for your personal inventory. And like I mentioned before, all this alien tech is researched in the MAM. So you're going to be able to take advantage of this like as soon as you discover it, essentially. But they are gated by your overall progression, like most things in the MAM. But essentially, you're going to get access to the Dimensional Depot once you've unlocked Steel. You're gonna get access to production amplification once you have access to tier 5, and you're gonna be able to take advantage of power augmenters in tier 6. That's it, folks. A lot of really exciting things coming in 1.0. I am so glad
You
that
have
I finally
teased
got to make this video
blueprints
because I've been looking
over
forward to
and
talking about
over.
the alien tech for so long. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye.
Blueprints.
Wait. No. We can't end the video there. I still have one last thing we need to talk about. Third time's the charm, right? All right. We're gonna talk about blueprints now. Okay. Fine.
All right.
Okay. So in 1.0, we're going to introduce the Blueprint Designer Mk2. And the Blueprint Designer Mk2 is a bigger Blueprint Designer, obviously. We've increased it now to be a 5x5x5 Blueprint Designer. And with that, we have covered almost everything coming in 1.0. With that said, next week is when 1.0 comes out. On Tuesday at 5 p.m. CEST is when 1.0 will drop. And I can't wait to get it out there.
5 p.m.
And we will be live streaming
Central Standard Time.
So at 2 p.m. CST, we're going to start the live stream and we're going to count down to 1.0. And we're going to hang out with a couple of the devs. We're going to talk about stuff for 1.0 and we're going to have some fun, essentially. So I hope to see you there. And I hope you'll enjoy 1.0 and all the work that's gone into it. It's been 8 years working on this game now, and it's all gonna come together now to next week. So really looking forward to that.
5 p.m.
Until then, everybody, take care.
Well, that was certainly interesting. Okay, what's... Okay.
Did I mention the laser beams, by the way? They're pretty laser.
They're pretty laser. Okay. Okay, they never cease to make you wonder. Okay, well that is all of that. We don't get to visit the space station, it looks like, but we know what we're going to do with summer sloops and Mercer spheres. Teleportation? Nope, it doesn't look like we get teleportation. Although those being able to create those bags that put it in the cloud, extra space in your bags to put it in the cloud, seems to be pretty cool. So one thing that's interesting. So 10 a.m. we'll actually be able to get a hold of 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is my time zone. We'll be able to start live streaming. So that'll be exciting. We'll watch their live stream until the countdown is done. Then we'll turn over to our live stream and go from there. So hope to see you there. And thanks for joining. Talk to you later. Bye.